Hello Aquarius, Sun, Moon, Rising. Welcome to my channel. It is such a blessing to be here with you, so thank you for being here with me for your February 2024 recap. I'm so very grateful for the opportunity to connect with you today. In the description box below, you will find links to information on personal readings, the Soul Good membership channel on Telegram, and ways to support the work I do here if you would like to explore any of those options. You will also find a timestamp if you would like to jump to the start of your reading. Please do keep in mind this is a collective reading, not a personal reading, so use your discernment and take only what resonates with you. If you find that something shared does resonate, please like this video and subscribe to the channel. Comment below and or share this content as it tells YouTube that there may be something valuable here for someone else, which is a gift to both this channel and to others as well. And I greatly, greatly appreciate that support. February brought for us the meeting of Chiron and the North Node, which inspires us to recognize and accept our wounds and activate our own healing. We were encouraged to forge a new path forward, utilizing the wisdom, knowledge, and intuitive truths we've gained to align us with our higher calling. So we're going to be looking at your overall energy, what realizations or epiphanies February 2024 brought for you, how this might impact your journey moving forward, and getting some messages or advice to best support and serve you moving forward. So let's dive in, Aquarius, and see what comes through for you. Please, Father, Mother, Life, Christ, Universe, Spirits, Guides, Angels, our cosmic team, our ancestors, our higher selves, tell us please about the overall energy for Aquarius. What did February 2024 bring in for Aquarius, please? Thank you. I also feel this one up here. Tell us please what realizations or epiphanies did February bring? Yep, right there. Thank you. Tell us please, how might this impact Aquarius moving forward? How might this impact Aquarius moving forward, please? Thank you. Tell us, please, what messages or advice? Okay, thank you. I also feel like that one there. All right. What else do we need to know, please, about the overall energy for Aquarius? Thank you. Okay. Thank you. What else do we need to know, please, about how this might impact Aquarius moving forward? Thank you. And what other messages? Thank you. Chatty bunch, that one. Anything else we need to know, please, about the overall energy for Aquarius and what February brought for them? Thank you. Anything else we need to know, please, about the realizations or epiphanies that came through? Thank you. Anything else we need to know, please, about how this might impact Aquarius moving forward? All right. And any other messages or advice? Yes, that one there. Oh, these two. Okay. All right. So the overall energy for you, Aquarius. We do have here the law of forgiveness. Release all judgments and set yourself free. It's interesting. I do feel like there are some of you who will be listening to this who have experienced a lot of, it does feel like a lot of trauma or pain. I feel like it's interesting because it's coming through almost like more in your earlier years. I'm not saying it's necessarily limited to only that time frame, but I am picking up on this kind of like this pain that you've carried for quite some time around something. So that's why it was leading me to believe that maybe there are things that have happened in your earlier years. Um, but I do feel that, how do I say this? Whatever the cause of this pain was or is, um, I feel like it's shown up in your experience over and over and over again. Either it's interesting because I'm getting either in your own behavior, okay, or in your external experiences, or maybe even both. And I feel like the overall energy of February was bringing up this need to set yourself free from it. Okay, it's interesting because I'm picking up more on this set yourself free aspect, because I feel that whatever this is for you, I'm seeing it almost as like weights on your ankles. Like it's preventing you from flying. It's preventing you from really spreading your wings, from really expanding and growing and really stepping into what your true potential actually has in store for you or could have in store for you. And I feel as though um the energy was really trying to get you to move past that. Now, I do feel that this law of forgiveness, or forgiveness more specifically, is relevant, because I do feel like whatever it is that you experienced, there is a need for that deep forgiveness, and it's not for anyone else but yourself. Right? It's not to condone what you experienced. It's not to, you know, just kind of pretend like it never happened. But I do feel as though it's meant, like, I feel like it's for you. It's for you to find some kind of peace with whatever took place. Now, I feel like I have to say that there can be this kind of misconception, or people sometimes lead us to believe that when we forgive, that we no longer deal with whatever that is. Like it never comes up again, or we are, completely just um like it's just erased. And that's not the case. The difference when we forgive is that when it comes up, we don't have the same reaction to it that we once did, because we're not carrying these emotions and feelings and things that we were never able to deal with previously. Okay, so I do feel like the overall energy was really encouraging you to see how carrying this has impacted your life, and to hopefully take the opportunity to set yourself free by feeling what you needed to feel but couldn't at the time of whatever this is for you, and dealing with it in order to heal it. Right? Hoping that you would realize that, like, the only way out is through, and so it would require you to actually deal with those things and to address them, let yourself sit with them, right? Not to stay there and live there, or to, but to experience what you needed to in order to be able to find forgiveness and to, again, set yourself free from it. Okay, you also have here, yeah, the law of non-attachment, let go, release, and allow miracles. Mm-hmm. Definitely picking up on that for sure. I feel like, the whole thing of it is like you are the key. There is no quick fix. There is no easy button. There is no, someone else coming to save you from whatever it is, right? We have to be the ones to decide that we no longer want to live in that place, that we no longer want to allow the things that we've experienced, right? Especially when it comes to trauma and wounding, to kind of have this power over us. So again, I do feel like the overall energy was really putting you in a position to release. I am getting that some of you may experience a tower moment, or what in tarot is called a tower moment, where it just kind of creates this, turbulence, this bit of upheaval. I don't know that that's necessarily, pardon me, like a physical world tower where, like your life seems to be falling apart around you, though that could also be true. I feel like it's more of an emotional thing. Um, Yeah, and I feel like you were meant to be recognizing what, like, how do I say, like getting comfortable with the feelings within yourself, if you will, or sitting with those feelings and recognizing what they feel like, really becoming aware of yourself. I feel like this is trying to move you, Aquarius, or was, out of this kind of emotionally detached space. It seems to me, or it feels to me like whatever this was for you, or, however many things, maybe it was multiple things for you, whatever it is, that it almost feels like you kind of like packed it up and put it in a box and then tucked it in the corner, or hid it in the closet, or in the recesses of your mind, right? And maybe have just been ignoring it or avoiding it, or maybe you haven't been able to fully express or feel what you needed to feel in regards to whatever the situations are, whether that be because you would not let yourself, or because perhaps you didn't, how do I say, nobody apologized to you, you felt like you didn't get closure, or maybe you just weren't permitted, for whatever reason, or didn't feel like you were permitted to feel whatever you needed to feel. So it feels like, okay, well, I can't just let this linger here, like I need to pack it up and put it in a corner. And I feel, again, perhaps through the month of February, there was this kind of unpacking of that, which I feel internally could have felt a bit overwhelming, because, again, I feel like it was trying to kind of, not, I don't want to say reconnect you with whatever that pain is, but in some sense, I feel like that's true. I feel like it was to get out of this state of like avoiding or being detached from what it is you truly feel, allowing yourself to feel that so that you could release it, not to be attached to the emotions themselves or to be attached to the situation, but just to bring it forward long enough that you could reconnect with those fragments of yourself and, heal that. But again, I feel like the whole kind of energy was putting you in a position to recognize yourself as the key. You are the key to your own healing. You are the key to your freedom. Oh, I think it's really interesting too, because, I got that picture of essentially having these weights around your ankles, and it looked to me almost like, um, like a chain. You guys know the old kind of shackles, with a key that might look something like that. That's what the weights around your ankles looked like, or the, at least in the picture that I was getting in my mind. So I think it's really interesting, because I feel like you were meant to be seeing, like, you are the key. You are the one who can set yourself free. You're the one, essentially, and I say this with so much love. I've been there. I know. So I'm not trying to be insensitive or invalidate what you experienced in any way, shape, or form. But we are the ones that hold on to these things. We are the ones that essentially subject ourselves to this pain over and over and over again, because we're afraid to, or don't want to, or whatever the story is, we don't want to let it go, right? Maybe we're unable to forgive, or we think we're unable to forgive. And so, I feel like the whole point is you seeing yourself as the key to your freedom. We have here cyclicality, homecoming, progress. Yeah, right, that's that repetitive kind of energy that I was picking up on, experiencing either the same things showing up in yourself, behaviors that maybe were not, um, very pleasant, let's say, or desired, or seeing these things show up in your reality over and over again. I also feel that, again, the whole point was to help you to make progress, to move you closer, if not move you into freedom, right? Understanding that forgiveness is like the first step, right? Or feeling the things is the first step to letting these things go, to releasing them, right? To making that progress and essentially bringing you home to yourself. Because, like I said, when we experience things like trauma, pain, wounding, these sorts of things, and we don't have the ability to deal with them, or we struggle to do that, we're fragmented. So I do feel, again, it's about bringing these pieces of yourself back home and breaking, those cycles. freeing yourselves from those cycles and making progress in your healing, making progress and bringing these pieces back home. You know, it's interesting too, because you have this planet Saturn here on this card. And the thing about Saturn is that it creates this almost like a prison. Now, it can be looked at many different ways. Sometimes it looks like, you know, like a fence, or, you know, because it has the rings around. But Saturn is a planet of restriction. It is also a planet of karma. You know, it really is a planet of forcing us, or really kind of, what is the word, holding us responsible, thank you, for dealing with our stuff. So, you know, I feel like that it's kept you imprisoned, because it's like, until you deal with this, you cannot leave this space, right? It's going to keep coming up again and again and again. So I do feel like it's really speaking to what was asked of you with the energy that was coming in last month. You also have here finances, value, and possessions. So that's interesting. I'm really being drawn to the value part. I don't know why this is, Aquarius, or if this is for someone specific. I'm not sure. But it feels to me that perhaps whatever this is for you has something to do with the way you value yourself, or how you value yourself, or the lack thereof, more specifically. I feel like you may have experienced something where you felt as though you didn't matter, like you didn't matter. What you wanted didn't matter, or something like that. And so I do feel like some of you have placed your value in your possessions. What I mean by that is, there's this wound, perhaps, right, that you have. And how do I say this? Trying to heal that externally, right? So for example, feeling like you don't matter, or feeling like you have little value, or maybe you're not important, or something like that. And so then putting that value into your things. Like, for example, you know, this could be like clothing. This could be maybe like your car, your house, your job, you know, your partners. This, I don't, it's almost like you, like letting those things speak to your value. I hope that makes sense. You know, like, oh, you know, I'm valuable because this is the kind of car that I drive. This is the kind of partner I have. This is the kind of house I have. Look at all of my things, right? That's how this is coming up. And again, I really hope that you know that this is coming from a place of love. I am someone, I know these are difficult conversations, but I'm someone who is very, very much centered on bringing through whatever comes up in the most truthful way possible. Okay. I try to be as tactful as possible, while also maintaining whatever the message is. Okay. So I just hope that you know that it's not coming from a place of judgment, or being insensitive, or, you know, trying to invalidate anything that you've experienced. Okay. I do have to kind of maintain a certain level of emotional detachment for my own protection, but I just hope you can see where this is coming from, and know that it's coming from a place that's meant to be helpful. Because I know that these are really these are challenging things to talk about. Okay, so I do understand, and I've certainly have my own wounds that I've had to deal with, right? And it's certainly not easy. So we do have here for you as well, Pillar of Light. Your vibration is rising. You are the Oracle. Yeah, I do. Again, you know, I feel like this is meant to be liberating you, bringing you up, right? If you can see here in the card, she has risen, right, from here up to here, right? So I do feel like, again, the overall energy was meant to elevate you, was meant to evolve you, meant to grow you, to help you raise your frequency, to help you to expand your consciousness, your levels of awareness, and to move you forward, to move you up and out of whatever cycles, whatever lower frequencies you may have been sitting in. Now, certainly this is a lifelong process. Like, this is not something that, we just fix and we're done with. Every time we reach a new level, there's a new devil. Every time we, rise up, there's something else for us to face. And oftentimes we circle back to things as well. But I do feel that, I feel like these are things I feel like to some degree or another you've recognized, right? Like I feel like you've recognized the cyclicality of them. You've seen it over and over. And maybe you didn't really put all of the dots together, but I feel like you could, at the very least, I feel like you may have been in a situation where you're like, why does this keep happening? Or why do I keep feeling like this? Or, something like that. Right? So I feel like there's a part of you that knows. Okay? Like I feel like you're very smart. I really do feel that. And so I feel like there's some part of you that knows, even if maybe you didn't want to acknowledge it, or ignored it, or whatever. But again, I feel like the whole point is to raise you higher. I mean, you have that showing up twice. First with this card here with the umbrella, and again with this card here. So, I mean, even the key is floating in the air. It's not like it's not sitting on a table or anything like that. So I just feel like the whole point is to elevate you. That's not to say that it's easy or that's makes it easier, but I do feel like that's the whole point. You also have Akasha. Your guidance is divinely guided. Yeah, again, I feel like there's some aspect of this where your intuition has probably been telling you, right? Your body has been telling you, your intuition has been telling you. Maybe you've even had dreams about it, or something. But I feel like there's something that said, I have to do something, or something needs to change, or, something along those lines. Maybe you've been getting this nudge to, seek forgiveness, or to look for different modalities in order to do that. Maybe you've talked about it in, like therapy or something along those lines. But I do feel that, your higher self, your intuition, your guides, your angels have been communicating with you about this in some way, shape, or form. Whether that's your waking state, your meditative state, your sleeping state, your daydreams. I'm not sure exactly how it might be showing up, your intuition, but I feel like it's certainly been speaking to you based on what's coming through here. Let's look at the realizations or epiphanies that February brought for you, though I feel like we probably touched on that a bit. The law of cosmic creation, your thoughts will echo into eternity. I feel like this is really speaking to, honestly, the potential that you have. I feel like you may have come to the realization, like, I'm so much more than this. Whatever this is, okay? Even if it's just feeling like there's something missing, or if it's carrying some kind of pain, whatever it is, okay? I just feel as though part of the realization or epiphany that came through for you was, like, there's so much more. I feel like there's so much more out there, and maybe you've been like seeking it somewhere out there, but really it's been asking you to kind of go inward, right? So that you can align with who you truly are at a deeper level, at a soul level, to connect with your heart and then really align with that actual potential. Because the thing about this card is, it's essentially like creating a legacy, right? What you do is going to echo into eternity. And I feel like for those of you who have children, a lot of things that we experience are what you would hear a lot of people calling them like ancestral curses or generational curses, or ancestral patterns. You know, you hear people talk about healing the lineage, things like this, because it gets carried down, right? Maybe, you know, your parent or your parents, you know, had some sort of belief about something and then impressed that upon your parents, and your parents had some belief about something and then that impacted you, whether, you know, they impressed their beliefs onto you or because they experienced trauma and wounding, that you know, flowed over, if you will, into how they were parents to you. And what happens is oftentimes we, you know, we incur pain from whatever that is, you know, from whatever pain they've experienced or whatever belief, or pardon me, whatever beliefs were impressed upon them. We take that on as children, and then when we have our own children, oftentimes we, you know, put that on them. Like I've watched myself do this when I was much younger. Okay, so for example, like, you know, my, you know, like say your mom or something is like yelling all the time, and you yell. That's how that's what you think is the way, right? So it's just we learn by experience, right? And so it gets passed on. And so, you know, I feel like part of the realization here is, and even if you don't have children, okay, even if you're just going about your life as a single person, you know, maybe you don't have children or anything like that, but still what you do in this lifetime will echo into eternity, because there are people around you who have experienced that. Okay, not only that, but I mean, maybe these aren't your beliefs, but you know, I'm a firm believer in that we are eternal souls, and so you know, we have to deal with whatever we do or do not do in our lives eventually. So you know, I just feel as though this is an opportunity for you to kind of rewrite your story, if you will. And perhaps, you know, that's a realization that came through for you in February was, this is not the story that I want to write for myself, right? Or perhaps for your children, even, if that's true, you know, if that resonates. You have here as well the law of action. Get out of your comfort zone and take bold action today. Yes, right? I feel like there's this, again, I feel like there's this, like, I'm going to have to do things that I'm not comfortable doing, or I haven't been comfortable doing. For example, like feeling all the things I needed to feel, like facing my own demons, confronting my own darkness. And these are things that every soul, okay, has to go through regardless, based on what I believe and what I've learned about spiritual, or you know, our spiritual evolution, our spiritual development. You know, there's no other way. Okay. I mean, unless you just decide not to, which is not advisable or advised. It's not the path I would choose. But certainly I suppose it's there as well. But you know, the only way to really grow and evolve is through getting out of our comfort zone and dealing with our own shadow. Yeah, I feel like there's a lot of fear around that, because I do feel like, you know, anytime that we are needing to forgive and needing to, you know, let go of things that have caused us so much pain, so much grief or loss, or, you know, trauma, like it it's a scary thing, right? And the thing about comfort zones is, you know, sometimes we can get comfortable in pain because it's all we know, you know. So there are times that many, and I've seen this a lot, not I've seen it in myself, I've seen it in many people I know and care about, and even people I don't know, you know, where we'll experience pain, and we kind of just learn how to live there. You know, we've learned how to deal with trauma and our wounds, and you know, we kind of get comfortable in that, and we don't leave it even if we know it's not good for us or it's not serving us, because we've learned how to survive. We've learned how to navigate that space. And so stepping outside of that, even if it means freeing ourselves, can be terrifying. It's actually reminding me, I may have actually shared this song with you before, in a previous reading, Aquarius. It's interesting because that seems to be happening a lot in these recaps, is, bringing up things that I've already talked about in previous readings. So that's pretty fascinating. But I think I might have shared this with you before. I'm being reminded of the song Happy by NF, right? And essentially it's like, how does it go? Living in my agony, watching my self-esteem. Oh, what is it? I can't think of it right now. I apologize. But essentially what he's saying is like, I'd rather be in my agony, like sitting in it, because I don't know how to be anything else. Right? Like, I'd rather let it just kind of eat me alive than do something different. So I'll link that below, if you want to give that a listen, if you haven't heard it already, or maybe you have, but perhaps there's something there for you, if you were to listen to it again. You have here, yes. So you have creation, intention, potential. And the thing of it is you have the law of cosmic creation. And I was just talking about, you know, stepping into who you truly are, right? And choosing to live differently, choosing to create a different life for yourself, or intentionally creating a different life for yourself, where maybe you are aligning more with your own, with your true potential, with what you're truly capable of. I mean, it's pretty self-explanatory there. It's interesting as well because as I film this in real time, we're just days away from super a Pisces super new moon, which I feel like that time for you could be bringing up some. I feel like it could be bringing up some emotions, um, but I feel like maybe you heard this in other places, but it could have been a good time for you to set intentions around, finding forgiveness, around releasing these things. It's got this. I mean, your reading has new moon energy written all over it, really. Yeah, I feel like it's so much about creating a new story for yourself in an intentional way. Because here's the thing, Aquarius, when we hold on to trauma wounds, these sorts of things, um whether you want to believe it or not, they tend to control things from behind the scenes. We like to think that we've got it all under control. We like to think that, we we've, I don't know how to say it. It's like we can just, hold on to these things and tuck it away, and it's not going to do anything. But the truth is whether we want to believe it or not, it controls things from behind the scenes. It floods into nearly every single area of our existence. And oftentimes it's not until we really start digging and start healing that we realize how much. And I mean, this is speaking from experience. Okay? So I'm not just up here like touting, things to you as if, I have not experienced these things experienced these things myself, because I have. Interesting. You also have trust the niggle. What is the niggling feeling trying to tell you? So there's a lot here, Aquarius, around your intuition, around tapping into, your more sensitive, psychic, if you will, nature. And maybe this is something that I don't know why. I feel like you probably had some level of this, or some kind of awareness of this, um, whether, it be like full on, I know, my intuition is this and this, and it speaks to me, and that sort of thing. Or if you are someone who's just kind of thought that you just had like a, what is it, like you've had a, like a line on just how people are, right? Like I just understand people or something, or I don't know, or can read a room, or you know something like that. But I feel like your intuition, I feel like it comes through quite often. If, of course, if you're open to receiving it, it's probably easier to hear. Well, it is easier to hear. Maybe there are times you shut it out intentionally. That certainly can happen, or is a choice. But I feel like for you, maybe again, I really feel, Aquarius, that some of you have been getting these nudges. Some of you have been getting like, hey, this needs to happen. Hey, we got to deal with this. Hey, like, here it is showing up again. Hey, here's this thing. Hey, there's so much more out there. I feel like it's been speaking to you. And this may, again, that maybe this is a realization that's really come through in the month of February, where it's like, because there's a lot of this energy. And I feel like it was really encouraging you to listen. Like, I feel maybe you call it something else, okay? So insert word here, but I call it God. But it feels to me like, maybe God is like really trying to get your attention. You know, I just feel like God was pulling out all the stops to try to get your attention about this, or at the very least about your potential, and trying to get you out of your comfort zone, or getting you to recognize your value through the potential that you have, through the potential that God sees in you. There's something there about that. Let's take a look at how this might impact your journey moving forward. Hopefully that brought some kind of confirmation or clarity to whatever you were experiencing in February. You have here the law of divine will. Stop waiting for a sign. The universe responds to your beliefs. I feel like moving forward, it seems to me that, okay, so it feels like moving forward, you could find that your journey is impacted, this stuff here has impacted your journey in such a way that, again, it's like I'm not sitting back and waiting for something, right? I just, because you have get out of your comfort zone, take bold action. You are the oracle, your guidance is divinely guided. What is the niggling feeling trying to tell you, right? Let go, release, and allow miracles. Set yourself free. And I feel like for some of you, if you continue along this vein, it could impact your journey by, you're not sitting around and waiting. You're just like, your intuition's like, do this. You're like, okay. Because I feel like how you experience it is you arrive on the other side of this door, let's say, feeling free, feeling liberated, feeling lighter, feeling, you know, like it just seems like it feels like things are not so heavy. I mean, even her dress here is like super flowy, right? If you can see that. Whether you're male or female is really irrelevant, but it's just, there's this, it's almost like she's floating, right? You can't see her feet. It's almost like she's just floating across the floor. And so I feel like it could impact your journey moving forward if, again, if you follow along this vein and are trusting your intuition, trusting what you're being guided to do. I feel as though it's like, okay, like I'm on this path now, and I'm just gonna keep going because, like, I'm so much better, or how do I say, I feel so much better than I once did. I actually just heard, like, I don't know why, Perhaps some of you found Jesus, okay, or found Christ. This doesn't have to be for, I feel like there's somebody who resonates with this, but I want to say, like, it doesn't have to be like dogmatic religious, that version of Christ. For example, um the way I found Christ was not through a church. It was not through a priest or a pastor or, anyone else of the sort. It was not through any specific denomination. It was like Christ came to me, right? And slowly worked on opening me up. And now I would consider myself more aligned with what's called a Christian mystic. So, it doesn't have to be in that space. I just felt like I needed to say that. But I feel like some of you found God, found Christ, however, whatever resonates with you, found some kind of deity. um, but I think more specifically, like the way it's come through is like somebody found Jesus. So take it as it resonates. If it's not for you, leave it for someone else. But I feel like, or maybe you will, okay? And maybe this is how your journey's impacted. You have here as well the law of emergent evolution. Make a new declaration for your life. Yeah, I feel like for those of you who, like I said, keep following this vein, who keep, wanting to progress, wanting to release, forgive, set yourself free, I feel like for those of you who follow that, I feel as though you could be in a position where you are like, nope, this is how it is moving forward. This is what I've decided. Again, for some of you, I'm actually hearing this, okay? Not like literally, but I'm hearing it. Someone saying, like, I have accepted Jesus Christ as my savior, or something like that. So I again, it's probably for someone very specific, but I just feel I'm hearing that. And that may be the declaration that you make or have made in your life, or something. And it's interesting too, because you have these butterflies here on this card. If you can see them going kind of up the middle there, dancing up the middle. And I feel like, again, it's that lightness. It is like, this is the life I want to experience, this lighter, more free flowing. I think it just feels so much better to you that you're like, yes, I am here for it. It doesn't like, I'm sorry. Let me just slow down and ground a little bit, because I feel like for some of you, it like invigorates you. It brings you back to life, which is why I feel like I was talking so fast, because I feel like it gets you excited about life again. And I feel like you're like, whatever it takes, I'm here for it. Like, I am all the way in, because I feel so much better than what I did before. Even if I mean, obviously, even if you accept Christ into your heart, that doesn't mean you're not going to struggle. It doesn't mean you're going to not have challenges or obstacles or, anything like that. Right? It doesn't mean that at all. But I feel like even knowing that, you're like, I'll do whatever. Right? For some of you. Wow. But if that's totally not your thing and you're like, nah, I don't really resonate with that, okay, fine, that's fair. But I feel like, if that's not for you, I do feel like there's this energy of transformation, right? It could impact your journey moving forward by truly bringing you through a complete transformation. The butterfly is that symbol of metamorphosis, and it goes from the caterpillar to like this caterpillar goo in the chrysalis, and then of course to the butterfly, which certainly does, let us know that it's not an easy transition. But I feel like you may come out the other side of butterfly, right? Like I really feel like you could truly transform the way, if nothing else, the way that you experience life, how life feels to you, how the world looks to you, how you view people. Okay? Again, it just feels like you could be making this declaration of your life, like, I'm not going back to that. right? It could be something as simple as that. Like, I'm not going back to whatever that is. You know, your old life. You have here as well power, activism, and vengeance. So I'm getting a couple of interesting things. One is, I feel like again, if you keep along this vein, or if you continue to move forward with your spiritual journey, your healing journey, I feel as though you're going to be empowered. Simple as that. Like, I can feel it all over this section of the reading. I do feel as though you will also be more, like, I'm going to take risks. I don't feel like it's willy-nilly risks, but I do feel like it's, I'm taking like a calculated risk, or I'm taking a strategic risk, or maybe it's just I'm guided by God to take this risk, whatever that is. But I feel like you're empowered to take action in your life in ways that you maybe have not before. I also feel like some of you could find yourself finding forgiveness if you haven't already, right? Where you maybe before you were in this kind of, holding a grudge type of space. And I feel like you may find yourself just letting that go. Very interesting. Okay, you have here as well, yeah, birthing a new age, birthing new creations, dreaming a new world into being. Like I said, seeing the world in a completely different way, right? Going through this big transformation. I feel as though moving forward, you could truly find yourself in like a completely different person. Now, I'm not saying again that this would happen overnight. The Oracle, tarot, it's not magic, right? You have to do the work. So, I feel like the fact that it says birthing a new age, okay, tells you already that it's not going to be a walk in the park. But I do feel like you have this creation energy showing up multiple times. You have this energy of a new experience coming through. And I feel as though, should you choose, you have the opportunity and the potential to create a new way of being for yourself, to declare that in your life, and to experience the world in a completely different way. Right? But it's going to take you, like, I'm actually seeing somebody rolling up their sleeves, because it takes work. And I don't mean like, physical labor. Okay? I mean like the work on yourself, being disciplined and dedicated to your own healing, your own evolution, your own transformation. Right? Okay, so the messages and advice to best support and serve you moving forward. Aquarius, you have. Okay, so I just have to pause because I feel like there's some fear coming up, and I feel like some of you are like listening to this and you're like, "Oh my gosh." And it's okay. Okay? It's oftentimes when we are on the cusp of our greatness, or a level of our greatness, that we experience the most fear. Okay? So just know that. Know that if you are sitting here like, "Oh, good God, there's a lump in your throat, a rock in your stomach," type of thing, you're probably on the right path. Okay? You have the law of rhythm. The universe is guiding you. Go with the flow. So there it is again. Again, Aquarius. I mean, I feel like God is all up in your ear, like, let's do this, sweets. I got you. Or there's something that is trying to get you to see what is possible. I mean, again, you are the oracle. Your guidance is divinely guided. What is the niggling feeling trying to tell you? Right? I mean, you have all of this, like, stop waiting for a sign. You have all of this energy that's coming through about you being guided. Right? And I feel as though this may be confirmation for you, honestly. Maybe you've been asking yourself, like, is God talking to me? You know, pray about it if you need to, or meditate on it, certainly, you know. But I just feel like the advice here for you is you're being guided. Go with the flow. Surrender to the rhythm of your life and the rhythm of the universe. Surrender to the rhythm of divine orchestration. Now, I think it's important to use your discernment. You know, hey, Lord, can you give me some confirmation that this is really you talking to me? Maybe this reading isn't for you. I don't know. You know, but I think using your discernment is important. You want to have that confirmation from God. You know, you want to know that you're being guided by something that is for your highest good. But I feel, you know, the message is, hey, surrender, let go. Because there's a whole new world out there, Aladdin, waiting to be experienced by you, and waiting for you, or rather waiting to experience you in your true potential. So you also have here the law of correspondence. See life as the ultimate mirror, guiding you to the highest version of yourself. Like, I just gotta tell you, Aquarius, you are not alone. You are I mean, no one is, but like, holy biscuits and gravy, you are definitely not alone. Okay? Like, you have a whole spiritual team with you, like, getting you to where you need to go, or at the very least trying to guide you to where you need to be. Okay? So, but I want to touch on this though, aside from that. So you have this here, right? The universe responds to your beliefs with this law of divine will. And you have see life as the ultimate mirror, guiding you to the highest version of yourself. So I feel like the message that's coming here for you, or the advice that's coming here for you, is to let you know the universe is going to show you or mirror to you who you are, the beliefs that you hold. It will. Absolutely. You know, if you're sitting in, let's say, negativity, you're going to see a lot of that in your external reality. If you know, I mean, that's just one of, you know, a plethora of examples. Let me grab the guidebook though. I do want to read this for you just to give you some more depth, or something a little bit more on this law of correspondence. So just give me a second here to find it. So I don't know why so this is universal law number 7. And for some reason, I'm feeling like that's an important number. Maybe it's for someone very specific, but I'm going to share it with you anyways. I don't know if it's a birthday. I don't know if it's an age. I don't know, for whatever reason, if it's like a sports number or something. I feel like the number 7 is important for someone. So pick it up if it's yours. If not, leave it for someone else. Okay, so here's what it says. Life is the ultimate mirror of consciousness. This is the concurrence of the creative process. The spiritual realm through the mental realm to the physical realm reflected back into consciousness. Your beliefs set this law into motion, creating the feelings, emotions, and circumstances of your life. Your ability to manifest and demonstrate. I'm just going to start that over. Your ability to manifest and demonstrate are in direct correlation with your ability to provide a mental equivalent within your mind and soul. For every belief, there is an undeniable equivalent in the physical form. The outer world is a reflection of the inner world, as within, so without. You are ready to awaken. It is time to release all feelings of being the victim of life and realize your infinite power. Your experience of life is the outpicturing and reflection of your beliefs. By drawing this card, you are ready to identify your limiting beliefs so that you can release them. As you advance in your spiritual awakening, everything will be magnified to give you clarity to spot your limiting beliefs. Keep the faith. You are going through a quantum shift and miracles are in the making. Now you will see life as the ultimate mirror, guiding you to the highest version of yourself. Remember, sow what you wish to reap. Here we go. So it says here, sit in front of a mirror and ask yourself the following question: who am I? Take time to reflect, contemplate, and meditate on this internal inquiry. May the truth set you free. That's pretty powerful. So I want to just point out here, right? It says, as you advance in your spiritual awakening, everything will be magnified, right? And it does say your vibration is rising. Okay, and then we've had so much of this energy around being divinely guided and these things coming up that are, not easy by any means to like they're not easy to navigate. They're not easy to deal with at all. And I feel like the reason why this is coming through is to let you know, like, the more, like I said before, right? New level, new devil. Things get magnified so that we can deal with them. So that, I feel like that explains to some degree or another that tower energy I was picking up on, right? Even if it's not my life is falling apart, and it's more like of an internal, holy crap, this is rough, type of thing. I feel like it's letting you know, right? Everything will be magnified to give you clarity to spot your limiting beliefs. Keep the faith. You are going through a quantum shift and miracles are in the making, and you have allow miracles. Okay? So I feel like this is really giving you essentially like, hey, this is what's going on. Miracles are possible. It's going to require the work, right? You have here inner spark, sacrifice, and devotion. Interesting AF. For those of you who resonate with finding God or, accepting Christ into your heart, I almost was going to mention, because I had listened to a video of a gentleman who was talking about following Christ. And, he was saying it is a decision that you will never regret. And, he's saying, like, it's not easy. You will have to sacrifice things, but you will not regret it. And I feel like that's absolutely true. Abso-friggin-lutely true. Okay? And here's the thing. A lot of these things that we're asked to sacrifice, yes, they are connected to, things like time and energy and, stuff like that. But it's also sacrificing patterns, behaviors, habits, wounds, trauma, right? It's also sacrificing things that are not serving our highest good, like jealousy, envy, hatred, anger, greed. We can go on and on and on. So I do feel like this is also acknowledging, like, hey, there may be some things you have to sacrifice, going with the flow, especially if you're being divinely guided, because you may be like, oh, I like, this is my plan. And God's like, oh, wait a minute. Or the universe, again, whatever you want to call it, is like, hold on, wait a minute. Your potential lies here. If you keep going this way, you can align with your true potential. Right? So there's an element of, sometimes sacrificing what you think is best for you and aligning with what God is sharing with you, right? Or what you're being guided, divinely guided to do. Okay? And then here it's so fascinating because there's also, that devotion. And again, I think that some of you, choosing this path, you may be one who, sorry guys, I'm trying to get it to focus, who decides, again, there's that make a new declaration for your life. There are some of you I feel like are really going to be very committed to a new way of being. Like I feel like, yeah, so inner spark on there, like it ignites a fire within you that you cannot put out. Really, really interesting. I love this though. I think it's so incredibly powerful. Should you choose this path for yourself, of course. So I'm just going to grab this guidebook for just a moment. Yes, there will be fear. Having faith is scary. Okay. It's scary. I don't care. Like, don't get me wrong. um there are incredibly beautiful things about it as well. But when God's like, have faith, I want you to pick up and move, you're like, what? Right? Because it gets us out of our comfort zone. So it's there. Okay, so I'm going to go ahead and read this to you just to give you a little more depth on, your messages and advice. So it says, Vesta is known as the goddess of the hearth and home, an ancient symbol of the sacred flame that purifies our soul through fire. This points to what we hold sacred at the core of our being. This placement can show you how to tend to your inner flame and the areas of life in which you show your devotion through spiritual growth. Yes, I was picking that up. Definitely picking that up. Vesta tends to your home and those qualities that are important for you to create a sanctuary. An asteroid of spirituality, Vesta serves your internal world, illuminating your inner landscape and cultivating that crucial relationship that will last beyond time, the one with yourself. And you have, right, this whole kind of your thoughts will echo into eternity. I just, this is not like little league, okay? This is not, I don't know. It just feels like this is something that is very deeply connected to your spiritual evolution. Deeply, deeply connected. And I really feel like God is just really trying to get you into alignment with that. Wow. Okay, let's see what else you have. Take a break, a life's work, not a season. Get off the treadmill. Stop doing the same things over and over and over, right? The way that I'm seeing this, you have cyclicality up here. I was talking about circles. It feels like, get off the treadmill. Let's stop running in place, right? Let's stop running in place. We're just wearing ourselves out doing this stuff over and over and over and over again. It really feels to me like this message coming through for you is your opportunity to get off the treadmill, get off the merry-go-round, stop experiencing the same, or an opportunity to stop experiencing the same things over and over and over. Right? That's how this feels. And it feels to me like once you get off of it, even though it seems really freaking scary right now, or may have, maybe it has, once you get off that treadmill, you're like once you start to let these things go and start healing them, it's like you can it's like you can breathe again for the first time. And it's a really wild feeling, like you think you've been breathing your whole life. But once you let these things go, it's like that. Like, wait a minute, I'm not living in survival mode. Right? Because I think what it really feels like is like you've been holding your breath. And this is the means by which you can get off, breathe again. How are you being called to step up and lead? I'm just going to be honest. I feel like it's you stepping up and taking the lead of your own life, because I feel like for some of you, the traumas and things that you've experienced, wounds in your life, I feel like this is what's been the lead. And I feel like God has a plan for you that you don't even you like. I feel like you couldn't even imagine what it is. Right? I think it would be beyond something that you would ever imagine for yourself, which tends to be the case. But I feel like, I feel like you're being called to step up and take the lead of your own life, to develop this deep relationship with yourself, and, to really sit in like the driver's seat. Yeah, another one. Hit him with another one, God said. You have Council of Light, Divine Orchestration, Helpers in the Subtle Realms. I felt it. Felt it. Right? Like, I really, really feel like this is so much bigger than just than what you thought. I think God has big plans for you, because I think God has seen, again, insert word here, but I think God has seen your true potential. God sees it in each and every one of us, and it's unique to us. And I think God is like, I'm going to do everything I can to try to get you into alignment with that. Divine orchestration, helpers in the subtle realms. Like, this blows my mind. There's so much of this spiritual support for you. It's a tremendous amount. And I feel that, all of these things unfolding is being orchestrated for you. If you ever thought you were alone, good God, were you wrong? Because you are most certainly not. But it's going to be up to you if you're going to allow that to guide you. If you're going to surrender to that, if you're going to allow miracles to happen, right? If you're going to let yourself be led into a new experience, it's your choice. Wow. It's incredible. Incredible. So, Aquarius, I know that, again, this has been a conversation that is not is not an easy one to have by any means. There's been a lot brought forward here that can certainly be very triggering, but I feel like it's all for you. Every bit of it is for you. Every bit of it is to support your evolution, your growth, and really, really trying to align you with your highest good and your true potential. So I pray that something here has blessed you in some way, shape, or form, has provided confirmation, clarity, value, or help to you in some way, shape, or form. If something here has resonated for you, I would like to remind you to please like this video and subscribe to the channel. It really, really does help the channel, and I'm so, so grateful for you doing that. So thank you. You've got this. Aquarius, you have totally got this, and you have so, so much help to get it, right? To go for it. So I pray that you have a beautiful rest of your month, wherever you are, whatever you're doing. Take care of your growing, evolving, rising, and deeply supported soul. Peace be with you and within you, and I hope to see you in another video. Bye.